Well, hello again. I'm Michael Guevara, one of the managers of the Conservatory of Music, and I believe you will be happy to hear that this is the last video in our welcome series to you. But as it is the last video, I did want to take a moment to address a couple of topics that I believe are very important, and they are the expectations of music lessons and the benefits of music lessons. So let's go ahead and start with the expectations. Now, with the advent of the internet and services such as YouTube and Facebook, if you haven't already, odds are that you will eventually come across some videos that show very young children performing amazingly complex pieces on their instrument of choice. Consequently, there will be parents out there that will see these videos, and then they'll come to a facility such as ours and enroll their children into music lessons with the expectation that their child play to that level of proficiency, within the next 3 to 6 months. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry, but that truly is an unreasonable expectation. And the reason is simply they don't understand that behind the scenes, that child that was doing those amazing feats was putting in 4 to 6 hours a day, sometimes even more, for 365 days a year almost, for years, to get to that level of proficiency. And I know that our children today are so involved with other things that to provide them with a well-rounded education, we need to get them involved in other things, that to expect them to be able to practice 4 to 6 hours a day is basically unrealistic. Which kind of brings me to a little incident that happened at our school several years ago. We had a parent visit with us, and they were concerned that their children were not progressing very quickly. And of course, when we hear something like that, that's an alarm to us too. We get concerned with that. So I asked her to visit with her, and we sat down and started discussing the situation. And one of the questions I posed was, tell me, excuse me, how many minutes on average would you say your children are practicing every day? Well, the parent kind of thought about it for just a few moments and said, about 5 minutes a day. 5 minutes a day. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you also understand that 5 minutes a day is just not going to be a recipe for a child to progress very far, very quickly. Now, sticking with somewhere around 20 to 30 minutes for a child who is new to music lessons, that will develop a consistent upward trend in music lesson progression. Now, it's never in a straight line, of course. It's going to be a little bit of zigs and zags going up, but the overall trend is upward with that amount of time. But having stated that, this is a perfect opportunity for me to segue into the second topic that I wanted to address, which is the benefits of an education in music. Now, 2,000 years ago, the great Greek philosopher Plato is credited for stating, before anything else, a child should be taught music. Now, roughly 2,000 years later, science is bearing out what he stated all those thousands of years ago. You know, there are studies galore that show children who have a consistent education in music make better grades, they score better on standardized tests, they develop higher self-esteem, there's less likelihood of them using alcohol, tobacco, or illicit drugs, they become a better community member. The list goes on and on of the various benefits that an education in music can provide. And not only that, there was a study, a 10-year study conducted of middle school children and high school age children that showed once they took the SATs, those who had a consistent, for a period of time, education in music scored 63 points higher in math and 44 points higher on the verbal side of the SAT than did those students who did not study music. Now, as you may know, those points, 63 points here, 44 points there, can make the difference between an acceptance letter and a rejection letter from a college or a university. So I say all these things only to provide you with a little bit of food for thought, that what you are doing, if you really think about it, is you're making an investment in your child's future. And talking about future, did you know that the college major that is accepted into medical school more than any other is a music major? That's right. 66% of music majors who apply to medical school were accepted in a particular study that was conducted, whereas the next highest group, biochemistry majors, were only accepted at 44%. So there is a 22% difference there, approximately 66 versus 44. So again, what you are doing is a wonderful thing for your child, and it will benefit them for the rest of their life. But please understand, these benefits that these studies that I told you about were not something that just came about with a casual music lesson experience, something of 3 months, 6 months, even 1 year. No, to truly get the benefits of a music education, you have to think long term. You have to think 2+ years, and like those high schoolers did on the SATs, probably closer to 4 years. But again, that investment will pay wonderful dividends down into the future. So again, I just wanted to provide this something, these little topics as something for you to think about in the future. You, like I said, are doing the right thing, and your child will thank you for it, especially when they become our age. And you could be impacting generations, not only your child, but your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren. So thank you again for taking the time to listen to this lengthy video, but I do believe it was important. And I do look forward to providing you again with a wonderful music lesson experience. There's a lot of wonderful things we have planned here for the Conservatory, and I look forward to hopefully being able to meet you at some point in time in the future. Again, thank you, and as I said in our very first video, welcome once again to the Conservatory of Music family. Have a great day. Goodbye.